Hello masterminds, and welcome back to Mastar Media. Today we are reviewing Dragon Ball Super episode 117, and before we get into all the RIBRIANNE stuff, I want to talk about Vegeta attempting to go into Ultra Instinct. He goes and finds an opponent, that being Catopesla, and basically begs him to attack him. Catopesla transforms into his battle mode, increasing his power times 300, which is still basically nothing compared to Vegeta. And Vegeta closes his eyes and lets his hands fall down to his side. So he's trying to mimic going unconscious and letting Ultra Instincts kind of take over as an enemy starts attacking you. But it doesn't work for Vegeta, as he starts taking a bunch of punches all over the place in his face and everything. There's two reasons particularly why I think that this did not work for Vegeta. One, I think he needs a major catalyst to be pushed into Ultra Instinct. Goku had the battle with Jiren, the Genki Dama was the main energy source, and then also Kefla was basically pushed him through his shell again. He has to be in super desperation mode to the point where he's almost like near death. The other reason why I think Vegeta didn't get it is because I don't think he's going to get the defensive half of Ultra Instinct, which would have helped him in this scenario. Instead, he's going to get the attacking half of Ultra Instinct, which I made a video on earlier this week, so make sure that you go check that out if you want the full breakdown on why and how Vegeta will get that attacking Ultra Instinct form. At this point, Vegeta's had enough and he just starts beating the crap out of Catopesla. I'm surprised that they didn't just knock out Catopesla here, but I'm assuming that he'll go out next episode. Now we go back to Goku, who is completely exhausted. He's on the ground. I mean, he can barely even stand at this point, and now he is confronted by all of Universe 2. Rosie and RIBRIANNE lead in. Rabarna, Zarbuto, and Zerloin, they join in as well, and they all want to take on a weakened Goku. Very cheap, but that's what their God of Destruction orders them to do. So it's at this point that the androids actually step in to protect Goku, because Gohan and Piccolo are preoccupied by the two Namekians of Universe 6, and this is kind of nice. We haven't really seen the androids go battle crazy in a little while, and they're going to take on Rosie and RIBRIANNE, which we knew from the preview and the spoilers and everything. But this actually turned out to be a very exciting episode. It had great story writing and it had really good animation. I'm going to get into that later down the road. And also, next episode looks insane. I'm going to do my preview breakdown tomorrow for episode 118, but it looks like the battle with the Namekians is finally heating up, and it looks so good. But check back to my channel tomorrow for that. I know this is kind of inconsequential to the overall episode, but when Android 17 was fighting Rosie and the Omni Kings were basically copying them, I thought it was kind of hilarious. It was some nice comic relief. And we see Android 18 lay a beautiful kick right in the face of RIBRIANNE. And I know that every single Dragon Ball fan in the world is cheering right now as her face gets turned into a pumpkin or a mashed tomato or something. I mean, she looks like a freak at this point, and damn, that felt so freaking good. One thing I want to talk about, and this isn't even really Dragon Ball related, is right here Android 18 is talking about, I'm married and I have a daughter, and that's when RIBRIANNE notices Krillin's bald head, and she's like, what, him? Like, he's not even beautiful. Krillin is bald and he has a hot-ass wife. I'm bald and I have a hot-ass wife. Being bald is sexy and bald is beautiful, baby. Alright, let's continue. So at this point, RIBRIANNE is kind of pissed off, and we get this montage of shots of her boobs, which, like, for whatever reason seem bigger than normal, and she charges in at Android 18. Now, some cool things happen here between the androids, and this is where the story writing really comes into play, and the choreography between the androids taking on the two. First, RIBRIANNE and Rosie. You can see that the androids, how they combine attacks, they're in perfect synergy, and they're using their teamwork to basically get Rosie and RIBRIANNE to annihilate each other, which I gotta say was pretty dang cool. There's even one part in this episode where Android 17 and 18 just look at each other, and it's almost as if they're exchanging words just by looking at each other, and they're able to devise that plan with just a single stare. It really emphasizes the compatibility between this duo. It shows the strength of their partnership, and they were able to take on the powerful RIBRIANNE and Rosie by using this methodology, by using their teamwork. and it felt great to see RIBRIANNE and Rosie blasting each other all over the Tournament of Power arena. So that was probably one of the best parts of this episode. Android 17 and 18 really just popped off. It was nice to give them a glorified episode for the androids, and it felt really good for an audience and as a fan to watch them work like this. And with that synergy, they're able to combine attacks and finally take out Rosie, as Android 17 uses a very nice blast and knocks her directly off the stage. That was nice, but one down and one to go, and it's the mother of all, RIBRIANNE, who is laying there battered and beaten. She has de-transformed, and it's at this point that she uses a technique which wraps up Android 18 from the feet and binds her. Now, I'm not really sure what this whole energy coming off the sidelines was. It kind of felt like it was like Genki energy in a way. Maybe it was, but they didn't explain it that way. But basically all of the love energy coming from her partners on the sidelines transforms her into Godzilla RIBRIANNE. I'm really surprised that they didn't show Roshi on the sidelines losing his damn mind right now at the size of RIBRIANNE's jugs. So she is huge right now, and her boobs are huge, and she goes to throw a devastating punch at Android 18, but we get a very, very cool explosion out of Android 18 as she shatters the big amore out of RIBRIANNE. Now we enter the climax of the episode. This is definitely the peak as things really start heating up, and Android 18 punches the giant fist of RIBRIANNE. I gotta say, that was awesome. She shatters the fist of the gigantic RIBRIANNE. That again was awesome, and then starts running up her arm. The directing of this episode, at least this part specifically, was great, as you see Android 17 18 running up her arm, Android 17 using his shield to protect 18 as they charge up, dashing towards her face. If you didn't notice, RIBRIANNE was actually shooting laser beams out of her eyes, and Android 18 was dodging it. So this gigantic RIBRIANNE form, whatever it is, has a lot of techniques, because after this she starts shooting this giant mouth laser beam and everything. So she was pretty damn powerful, I feel like. But regardless, Android 18 just flies directly through her head, and damn, that felt so good. Seeing that hole being blown through the skull of RIBRIANNE was amazing. And then we got those beautiful words from the Great Priest, who says, Universe 2's RIBRIANNE, Son of Love, has dropped out, and now the entire Dragon Ball fandom can jump out of their seats and cheer, because this super annoying character that we hate so much is finally erased. And there you go, guys. The Great Priest has said it. The Ami Kings pressed the button on the God Pad, and there is no RIBRIANNE clone still in the Tournament of Power. Thumbs up if you get that joke. Alright guys, so there is 15 minutes left in the Tournament of Power, so things are actually speeding along quite quickly, and we really are approaching near the end of the Tournament of Power. The last few episodes, they have pushed it 2 to 3 minutes per episode, and it looks like they're really trying to reach that final climactic point. However, one thing I want you guys to take notice of is that yes, they have pushed 2 minutes in this episode, and I think it was 3 minutes in the last episode, but that doesn't mean that they can't have a whole episode be half a minute. So while we may assume that this may mean 15 more episodes, it could basically be as long as they want it to be. Overall opinions and review rating on this episode, I'd probably give it a 7 or 8 out of 10. The first half of the episode was pretty dang slow. I think there was a lot of useless screen time that really didn't add too much to the story. However, coming into the final part of the episode, the animation and the directing with the giant RIBRIANNE was absolutely breathtaking. You could really feel the size and scale of RIBRIANNE as well as her power, even though she didn't really do any damage, but you could still feel the power behind the attacks. And things like that, guys, aren't necessarily easy to pull off. That requires really good storyboarding and really good writing. And I feel like that the last 5 minutes or so of the episode really saved the entire episode. There really wasn't any necessary reason for making RIBRIANNE and Rosie this strong. I mean, the androids are super powerful, especially Android 17, as we saw him take on Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So these girls, these magical girls, I know it's pretty overplayed over there in Japan, and they were trying to do the whole homage to it and everything. but I thought it was a little bit ridiculous and a little bit of waste of time, as again, they could have gotten into the more meaty parts of the tournament. But thankfully, next episode, we're going to get into the real meat and potatoes and a really awesome fight, as we're going to see Piccolo and Gohan take on the two Namekians of Universe 6. And it's possible that two universes could get erased in this single episode. So we'll find out next week. And then tomorrow, guys, I will be doing my breakdown of the episode 118 preview. A lot to talk about there. I'm much more excited about doing that video than I am this one. So make sure you guys stop by tomorrow. All right, fellas, thank you so much for stopping by my review today of Dragon Ball Super episode 117, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.